listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. For today's show, we're going to do something a little different. Jason and I always spend a few minutes together in the morning drinking a cup of coffee. And it's when we connect, and it's always, we're always doing energy work of some kind, using our intuition to look at things in a deeper way than we normally do. We always say to each other, most of our audience would just love to be a fly on the wall for this conversation because people want to hear what we have to say. So in today's show, we're going to let you listen in and observe us as we work. Stay tuned. We are married intuitives with over 20 years of experience who created the Ecosystem Approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Okay, Jason, where do we start?
You know, I've always said that we could just start talking and it would be easy to talk about this stuff.
Sure.
For an hour. Easy.
I agree.
You know, the problem is that we would be way off track. Whatever we say the title of the show is going to be, it wouldn't end up to be that way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
right.
But now we've kind of giving ourselves permission just to let it go wherever we can.
Wherever it may.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
And frankly, today we're a little low key because you know, I didn't get much sleep last night. You know, Mom was in a lot of pain.
Well, and we did the show last week about Mom, right? Was it last week?
No, it was the week before.
Oh, excuse me, the week before. Okay.
And you know, it just maybe it was last week. I can't remember. It all runs together.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't matter, but it's we're still working on that. This to us, her pain is an energy dilemma. And since we're talking about it, let's talk about it.
Okay, I'm with you.
You know,
I'm with you.
We took her to it must have been about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Took her to an acupuncturist. We're really impressed with, and she worked on her, and for 3 or 4 days she was good. There was like no pain.
She slept through the night.
Yes.
She was more aware. In other words, when she gets sleep, the dementia is, I would say, much lower of a grade than what it is today, especially.
So
but last night she didn't sleep very much because she was in a lot of pain.
Well, the point I was trying to make is the last time we took her,
I see,
which was just a few days ago, we did an extra session with the acupuncturist, and we expected that we'd have the same result.
Correct.
It was exactly the opposite.
Right.
It was worse than the night before.
Right.
So what does that tell us? Well, frankly, we still don't know. One of the things we talked about in that show was about how energy work is like a big puzzle, like a big jigsaw puzzle.
Right.
And you find a piece and it just fits there. Yeah. But then you've been looking and
you can't find that other piece.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you do find that other piece and it's amazing.
Yes.
So yes.
So, you know, this is our jigsaw puzzle, and we just want to kind of share it with you. But it's so one of the things that we've started to learn, but we're still not quite sure, is we always use, you've heard us say life force.
Correct.
Sometimes we say creator energy. It's sort of the same thing. I don't know that there's any difference. Do you see any difference?
Not really.
Do you perceive it? Okay.
No.
So we've been using, instead of life force, we're using the astrology energies that are based on their sun and moon sign and what planets rule those signs.
Right. In other words, the planets and the energies that in which we're born under. And each one of us, of course, is unique and different.
Right. And this is our natal chart. This isn't,
Correct.
so this is our natal chart. So for mom, we know she's a Pisces and she has a Sagittarius moon.
Okay.
Pisces is ruled by Neptune.
Mhm.
Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter.
Correct.
And we've been using that, and the other night it worked really well.
It really calmed her down. She slept. We all slept.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
We all slept. And last night it was my intention to do some more clearing in that way.
Correct.
Or clearing and then working on that, activating those planetary energies, but they got away from both of us.
Yeah, well, and yes, it's spring, and so we've been
working in the yard.
and I got to tell you, it's with all the rain, it's been very
everything's growing a lot. Yes.
There we go. A lot.
Talk about life force. It's
Yes,
just growing.
exactly.
Yes.
It's true.
So last night she had a hard night. I mean, Patricia slept, which is good. And we got an agreement. She does a lot of the work during the day with mom. I do the night shift, and partly because I can get up.
This amazes me, everybody. I'm telling you secrets about us, but this amazes me.
I can get up, walk into the other room with her water, and usually we give her Tylenol for pain every 6 hours.
Right.
Sometimes we give her L-theanine if she's not sleeping well.
Correct.
Sometimes we just give it to her just so she can go back to sleep, and then the pain goes away.
Correct.
But so I can get up. We should make the point. The point is that I can get up, do all that, come back to bed, and lay my head down,
and be asleep within less than 2 minutes.
And it really pisses her off because if you talk to her at night and she wakes up, she can't go back to sleep.
I struggle. But I've always been like that. It's not anything new. I've always been like that.
Well, and
I'm not a happy camper if I don't get my sleep.
And it's partially explained by her astrology. That since we're talking about that.
Okay.
That
there you
you're
go.
Libra, Gemini moon, and Libra ascent.
So
she's got a lot of Libra, and that's all air, and Gemini is air.
Mm-hmm.
So
simply put, I need the balance.
She needs the balance, and air likes to keep moving.
It does.
The idea of dead air. It's.
I have no concept.
Yeah. There's no such thing.
Yes.
So
exactly.
So I take the night shift and get up and give her the pills.
By the way, yes.
And she last night she would go oh, and when she starts doing that, the dogs hear it first. The dogs sleep on our bed.
Yes.
Ron and Jamie sleep on our bed, and when they hear her going, oh, and
by the way, it's not something that you want to hear and think, oh, there's nothing wrong. It's no big deal.
There's no way you can say it. Yeah, yes. Think that. So, and the dogs, when they hear it first, they're, all of a sudden I turn over and I've got a nose in my face. Like it's Ron or Jamie, like, what you gonna do about this, Dad?
Yes, exactly.
Let's not
let's not go there.
Yeah. Yes. So a lot of times I'll get up and do something depending on what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
And
do something, meaning attend to mom in some way.
Yeah, give her the Tylenol, give her some water, give her some L-theanine, whatever we choose. And just so you know, they prescribed. And this is, we're going off in their.
We are.
This is really, really important.
It is.
They prescribe gabapentin, and you might have heard of that before. We've used it for a short time.
Once. Let's put it this way.
She was really confused. I mean, she has dementia already.
She fell in the middle of the night in the bathroom, and it was not pretty. Let me just say it that way. Somebody that's over 90 or at any age should not be falling in the middle of the night. Well,
something like gabapentin can be really difficult for her because it's sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
Yeah.
Which the dark always puts you in as you're going forward. There's always a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Correct.
And so if we give her gabapentin and she falls, she breaks her hip. That could be a death sentence. So we decided not to do that and try and find another way to get rid of the pain.
Correct.
And gabapentin isn't guaranteed to work anyways. So
No.
we don't know.
By the way, gabapentin is a drug that works on nerve pain. It does a couple of things, but it works on nerve pain. And she had shingles 6 months ago, a little more than 6 months ago. And shingles is a virus that attacks nerve pain.
Yeah, we should have said that in the beginning.
We should have.
But this is shingles pain, which is some of the worst pain we know is some of the worst pain you can have.
They say that you can have.
You know, and so after this last episode, when we took her to the acupuncturist, and it didn't work. In fact, it got worse.
Yes.
But then when we used that energy work, and then it helped.
It got better.
You know,
that tells us
yes. that it's not physical, it's an energy.
Yes.
And in a way, it's encouraging us to go and to focus on the energy of the situation, the energy of the pain.
Correct.
So we're going to continue that conversation.
Well, we're not quite done yet. There's a major point to be made here. And the major point is that we can see that mom isn't ready to go yet. She does have things to learn. We don't want her going to the other side with all the baggage from her lifetime. And in that baggage of her lifetime, she has been not actual physical abused woman, but she has been an emotional abused woman. And I'm saying that for a reason, because we see that there's reactions and actions because of it today. That's the first thing. But the second thing is that this energy that happens, we also see comes from, unfortunately, Jason's dad. He's calling her to the other side when it's not her time.
And he's fussing with her.
And he's not only fussing with her, he's fussing with us.
If you've ever been in an abusive or possessive relationship,
there you go.
They fuss with you.
Yes.
That energy fusses with you.
Yes.
It's
just because,
you know, do this, you have to do this, you know, that sort of thing. So well, we're going to continue that.
I was just going to say that. So, you know, in the next segment, we're going to continue the conversation, and who knows what we're going to talk about in the next segment. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to continue the conversation. So stay tuned to find out what we're going to talk about in this segment. But I am going to say, we talked about mom in the first segment and the effects that it's having on not only her, of course, but us. And I want to say we are continuing to keeping that search going. What energies that she's connecting with. Of course, totally unconscious about it, but that's affecting her and affecting this entire house.
Well, here's the big news, and this is what I want to talk about this.
You want to make that point? Okay.
Which is, instead of using life force, you know, people, since we've been doing this work, people have come to us say, you know, can't you do it faster? Can't you do it quicker? Can't you do something that's more effective? And we already know that being specific is what makes the ecosystem approach so effective, because when you understand your emotional story and then you zero in on that and start clearing all the effects of that, it's like a huge ripple effect. It's very, very effective. Well, we don't have that story for mom. Where a lot of it's stuff that we've uncovered on our own.
Yes.
And because we can see energy, where it's like a detective. But the most important point that I want to, from the last segment, I think, is the fact that instead of using life force energy
alone,
which is not specific enough.
Correct.
We always talk about how being specific is where the power is.
It is.
Especially when you're clearing this negative stuff, and you can clear situations. Oh, for example, I remember when my dad made fun of me using Matchbox toys when I was 6 or 7. That's an old memory, that I wasn't being productive enough. I wasn't working hard enough. And I can go back and say, and to eliminate the shame that I felt when my dad ridiculed me about using Matchbox toys instead of working. That's very, very, very specific,
Yes.
but that can be very, very effective, and that can lead to all sorts of other things. So that's being specific with removing the bad stuff. But when you go and start taking, and you've had a breakthrough with this, but when you start taking, we use Neptune energy, which is Pisces, which rules Pisces.
Right.
And, I see Pisces or Neptune as a cold planet. It is kind of, it's one of the
Yes.
furthest ones out in the solar system. And using that cooling coldness to,
Could you say help remove
I,
or balance out?
I would say, if you understand, the nerve endings are
Hot,
activated,
and they
hot,
are
hot, and they're
yes.
and they're like glowing. That's how we picture it.
That's exactly
They're
right.
glowing, and they're screaming. Screaming is another
they
way.
are screaming.
They're
Well,
angry.
screaming because they're on fire.
Yes, they're on
Yeah.
fire. That's the word, fire.
There you go.
So what do you do with fire? Well, you take something really cold
And to
Neptune.
calm it down and put it out.
So we're taking the Neptune energy,
Correct.
and basically cooling her off.
Yes.
And I was going to do it last night, and I didn't, and then so she just had a really hard night.
Yes. So tonight we will make sure. Well, after the show today, we're gonna
really work
actually
on that.
We started this morning again. But trying to help someone who has dementia. I need to put this out here. Someone that has dementia that can't exactly articulate anymore,
or be conscious about,
or even be conscious about so many things in life. It makes you wonder, what do I do with all this? Well, what we have learned is that then because we can see, we have to go through that body, we have to go through that energy, we have to take a look, because she can't do it herself anymore. And not that I know that she ever really could, but she could articulate things a lot better 5 years ago than she can today.
Well, and we had her, there was a time, and maybe we can have her do this again, but we were telling her, remember you showed her how to take the pain, and throw it into the trash can.
I do.
And it was really effective. And she got into
liked
it.
She really liked it. Hadn't thought about doing that for and by the way, it's not like we're being not paying attention to her or anything like that. That's not what this is. Life happens to everybody. Life happens to everybody.
Well, we get busy, and we are busy by nature.
We are.
Although she acts out her pain. So you can go up to her and say, how's your pain right now? And she won't know. She really doesn't know the answer.
No.
And we see that more and more.
Yes.
She doesn't really
That's
know.
the dementia.
Even if I went to her now, what it's been, it's been like, when she get up, 7, 8, 9, 10 this morning, whatever.
More like 10.
Yeah. And if I asked her now, it's what is it, 1:30 Pacific time, she won't remember.
Yeah.
She won't remember the pain. So she can't tell me, oh, that was a really bad night.
Yeah.
I remember it, but I'm not sure that she will,
Right.
which is kind of a blessing in disguise.
Right.
But people are thinking, this is what I want to get to.
Okay.
So how do I do that? Well, that sounds really neat. I want to use, planetary energies as opposed to life force.
And by the way, I've had great success with it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We should talk about that.
Okay.
But so for her, what I picture, okay, the way you work with energy and get down to the basics is we create these images in our imagination.
Yes, we
the way I do it is different than the way Patricia does it. For example, this is my favorite example. When she used to tell people to get rid of negative energy, she would just take a Kleenex that would just float down.
That's right.
And
I forgot about that.
Gather up the negative energy and push it down to the ground.
That's right.
And then you could scoop it up and get rid of it, put it in the processor. For me, a Kleenex is way too mamby-pamby.
Yes.
I like grenades. I like bombs.
Yes. Yes.
I like.
You like boy things.
I like to create this this group of people flying around in these little. They remind me of Hogwarts.
Oh, I
know,
see. Okay.
you know,
Yes, yes, yes.
where they're flying around on the brooms, but they have armors or weapons on the front, and they surround the dark energy and they shoot at it,
Yes.
and explode it. So it's all, you can use whatever is
Effective for you is the way I
effective
would
for
say it.
you.
Yes.
It's, I guess it's part of who you are and your story.
Oh, by
So as
all
you
means.
uncover, if you uncover the fact that you're too mamby-pamby, maybe you need something that's more,
Yeah. More
if that's,
grenade-like. Yeah.
yes, if that's part of your emotional story. But if it's not, if there was too much harshness in your emotional story, maybe the Kleenex is a better thing for you,
Yes.
because you don't always have to fight. Power is not what we consider power in this world
Is
of
not always
just
about fighting.
brute force or
Yes.
who has got the biggest gun, that sort of thing.
That's exactly right.
So, but to deal with activating planetary energies,
right.
we create a picture, like with Mom. We saw her nerve endings were alive and
on fire.
And then we just take a bucket of Neptune energy, say, and activate Neptune energy
over the top of her.
So, and just see it like, it's like, oh
yes,
oh
yes, and see it as a form of healing,
of relief, of
and
cooling off.
Yeah, exactly. Cooling off and relief, to me, is a form of healing.
Yes,
because then you can deal with things on a level that us humans are capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I realize that most of us don't have the imaginations, so to speak, that we do, or have the ability to see the way that we do, but we want to help people deal with their own pain. We want to help people deal with their lives. And what we found, and I'm just going to jump in, and I know we don't have a whole lot left in this segment, but I'm going to jump in and say, I started using the Venus and
so because of all the Libra,
because of
Venus rules Libra.
That's right.
And then her moon sign, which is her emotions, is Gemini,
right.
which is ruled by Mercury.
Right.
And I want to talk about that next segment. So,
okay.
I want to use your example of how you use it for yourself, because people out there are thinking, okay, this sounds great. How do I use planetary energies?
Okay. And well, maybe we should.
We had a whole list of things we were going to talk about, and so this is what we're talking about. But I hope you don't mind. Oh, by the way, we're thinking about doing more and more shows like this where it's just free form.
There you go.
You can always reach out to us and submit a question. You have a question that you've always wanted to know.
How are they going to do that, Jason?
The email address is hello, HELLO, at theecosystemapproach.org. Okay. And by the way, now that you got theecosystemapproach.org is our domain for you computer geeks out there, but go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. If this speaks to you, yes, if you connect with us and said, yeah, I want to work on this some more, make sure that you sign up for our free section.
Okay.
You get weekly newsletter, and the clearings are there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure how we're going to do it this week, but I'm going to figure that out. So to be determined.
Yes, there you go.
To be determined. And it's one of the best things you can do, because working with energy is amazing. It's the new magic. It's the new frontier.
It really is.
And if you don't believe it, if you say, I'm going to wait for it to be proven, well, you're going to be behind the curve. So
yeah,
you can do that. You're more than welcome to do that.
Yes.
But we can see that can be to your detriment.
Yes. So in the next segment, we're going to continue the conversation. Okay, that's good. Stay tuned and find out what we're going to talk about. Well, we're going to talk about me a little bit. Yep. And I would also like to talk
using Venus energy.
Yes, exactly. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to continue the conversation. All right, Jason, where are we going?
So so we've talked about how we've used this to help mom, how activating her planetary energies really helped her with the pain.
It really did.
And by the way, pain is an energy.
Yes, it is.
You know, you can't put your finger on it. They haven't, you know, they know it travels on your nerves, but they don't know what it is exactly.
That's right.
We see it very clearly that it's an energy.
Yes.
And this situation with mom proved to us
Yes.
that it's not that the acupuncture didn't work. It's just that it didn't work. It wasn't effective with the energies that were causing her pain.
Well, I would say a little
Okay.
little tiny bit different. I would say that what it did was it lit up the avenues that her pain has been traveling on. And
they were exploited.
That is exactly right.
Talk about a possession.
Exactly.
So in other words, we should explain this.
Okay.
So what we're saying is that there was a what we would call a dark presence. We see my dad, you know, fussing with her, that possessive energy.
Correct.
And it lit up the pathways, the meridians, they call them.
That's right.
And he exploited that and used that to cause more pain.
Well, and the thing that I think is really awful is I haven't exactly figured out how to do it yet, but I will. How much time he's spending fussing with her, and it's not right. It's not fair. And by the way, she was possessed by him. So
all of her life.
As long as they
were married. Yeah.
Yes. And by the way, it was over 60 years, and he fussed with her all the time. And unfortunately, he was not the nicest person in the world. And I'm sorry, because she is the sweetheart, and he
was a donkey's behind. So, you know, and there was no question about it.
Well done.
Just trying to make it radio appropriate.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was really good.
You know,
so okay, you promised the audience that we would talk about what I did, or how we kind of stumbled on this.
Well, and it was amazing. So we had this really amazing result with mom. We're going to continue to look at it.
Yes, we are.
You know,
and we'll keep you updated.
One of the things, well, maybe we should do it next week.
Okay.
You know, maybe we do the same kind of show next week.
Maybe so.
We'll see.
Okay.
So if you feel so inclined and you want to send us a question, hello@theecosystemapproach.org. Do that and tell us what you think about this format. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
So I think this was amazing. You know, we've been talking about this all along, and you know, part of your emotional story is the fact that this energy from your past, which was a form of abuse also.
Yes, very much.
That you keep going back to, and you lose as an Enneagram 4, type 4.
And remember, your Enneagram type is your the negative energy attached to you.
It's a reflection of the negative energy attached to you.
Reflection. I forgot that word.
You know, and your astrology is who you are authentically. So most people, they get that confused. It's a big deal.
Yes, it is.
So, and sometimes your Enneagram type is related to your astrology.
Absolutely.
That's when it becomes a little more tricky.
Right. But for now,
we're not going to go there. We're going to talk about, we used Venus energy.
Correct.
And oh my gosh, it just in a couple of days,
the difference.
She's graduated like 10 steps above just by using that. And then we started, you know, I use Mercury energy for you because she has a lot of Virgo. For you astrology nerds, her Mars and Venus are in Virgo conjunct, and so that's ruled by Mercury, and her moon is in Gemini, which is also ruled by Mercury.
Okay.
So that's a lot of Mercury. That's a lot of Venus.
That's correct.
And
by the way, Venus right now is the brightest star in the sky.
Yes.
Which I don't
know if that's true. I don't, but you can see it.
And let's put it this way.
Whenever we walk out the door at night,
yes.
And we live in a place that it's
we don't have what is it called?
Light pollution.
Light pollution, yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. So,
but I want to get to the nitty gritty of it. If that's okay. The thing that I found, and I honestly was not expecting this at all. I just needed some balance in my life. So I figured, why not use the planet energy that I was born under? or in, or however you
Yeah.
say that. And the thing that I found that there was three things that I found that I thought were just incredible. One, the energy that I have inside, so I could feel it in its way. And I'm talking about the Venus energy inside, in its way, just roared up or came up with a form of grace and said, pay attention here. You've got something to majorly learn. And that major learn is that you can be who you need and want to be today.
Mm-hmm.
You can use all of the different parts of who you are to be in the moment and get to the next moment and be in today. But the one that amazed me the most was the power of me seeing who I am authentically without all these emotions and being the crazy person. It was amazing to me to see that there's all this power, and all this time, from the time I was a child, this power had been pushed down. Had been pushed aside. I was told I was wrong. I didn't have this power that was natural to me. And today I can walk in my power, and it's phenomenal. And I'm talking about physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In other words, everything, me as a person as a whole, me as the essence of my soul, it's starting to come up, and it's amazing. I mean, I've said some things in the last few days that have just amazed me. I knew they were there, but I didn't know that I could even access them.
Well, a little backstory. Okay. Being a 4, if you understand what an Enneagram 4, type 4 is very emotional, very artistic, but there's no balance.
Oh,
It's all emotion.
yes.
And, you know, she's talked about in previous shows about objectivity.
Right.
Well, Libra, Venus energy has balance.
It's all about the balance.
It's the sign of the scales.
Yes.
You know, there's often Libras are attorneys, lawyers.
They can do an argument.
They can do an argument. They can see both sides of the situation.
I win.
Yeah. But the truth is, you know,
I'm making a joke there.
You've always had strong feelings about everything. When we're in the car, when we're in the car, you know, she is not neutral about any song that comes on the radio.
Oh, no, not at all.
You know, we have Sirius XM radio, and because we're in a rural place, and so we get all this music, and you know, oh, I hate that one. Boom. She pushes the button. It's never neutral, like, oh, well, I could take it or leave it.
But then the next minute I'm actually singing. So
yes, or that's my favorite song. Well,
yeah.
She has so many favorite songs. But you know, it's in a way
laugh, I admit.
It's unnatural to you because a Libra would say, well, I like that song last week, but on the other hand, this song is
the one that I like this week. That is correct.
Or this has some good points here, but this one has some good points here.
And as a child, let me talk about pushing your power down. If I said something in a different way, I would be ridiculed as a child. So I learned not to do that, or saying, I love, this is my favorite song. And then if I would say, this is my favorite song next week, it wouldn't be my favorite. I would be ridiculed for it.
Yes. Well, and your mother was a 4.
Oh, yes. She
you know, and there was a lot of emotional people around you, you know, growing up. And we're running out of time. So we're going to show people how to do the clearing and activating light force or planetary energies. In the next segment. But this is I hope you guys grab hold of this. So how do you do it? Well, first thing that you need to do is get a
an astrology
natal chart
done.
You know,
and how you do that is,
and you know, I've never endorsed anybody on this show, but I'm gonna put a link in the newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, if you're not on the mailing list, go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org. It's all one word, the ecosystem approach, all one word, .org. And sign up for our free section You'll get the newsletter, and we'll put that link in about it's. I think you can get a natal chart for $4.95.
Okay.
It's a really good deal. It's like 35 pages. It's sort of boilerplate stuff.
But it's good.
It's good. It gives you a place to start. So you know
Yes.
your sun and your moon, your all the different planets in
And
your
there
chart.
is one caveat here. You do have to know your time, the date of your birth and your
Time of birth. Yeah.
Yes.
So they're going to
And by the way, that's
place of
and your
birth.
place
too.
of birth.
That's what makes it more accurate.
And that, by the way, is on your birth certificate.
Yeah. So sometimes that's a deal breaker for a lot
I
of
know
people. But
it is. I get
once you have that information, we're going to talk some more about this going forward. So it's good information to have.
It really, really, really is. So and by the way, everyone, don't believe that you especially if you know that you're a 4, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can make that to your advantage as well.
Well, and it's interesting because for you, Libra, Gemini, Libra is all intellect, which is ironic because,
on the other hand,
she's has a reputation for being all emotion.
Yeah.
So it's when they're so out of sync like that, it really shows you how your Enneagram type in a way betrays you. Because those behaviors, those emotional behaviors are compulsive.
Yes.
They happen without thought.
And that makes life a little bit difficult. So with that said, stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you remove negative energy so you can have a better life in the energy world, which, by the way, comes into the world in which we live in. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to help you remove negative energy so you can live in an energy world in the way that you were designed, that we were all designed. And by the way, once you start doing things like this, people around you will also do things like this to have a better life because they see the difference. And it's awesome. So with that said, Mr. Rowe.
So we're going to talk about how to do removing negative energy, what we call clearing, and then Patricia's going to talk about activating life force, but we're also going to talk about, we're going to do some clearing to help you activate planetary energies so you can know how to do it.
Exactly.
So we're going to, it's a little more abbreviated today, and we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, but here we go.
Right.
So how do you clear? I forgot. That's what we should start with. Okay. So basically, it's something that you do in your imagination. Your posture doesn't matter. You don't have to be reverent. You don't have to sit in a lotus position. You don't have to act like you're praying or any of that. This is just you can be walking. Sometimes you can even be talking. Imagine talking to your boss and clearing them at the same time. That can often be very, very effective.
Yes.
You laying down, sitting, running, doing dishes.
Yes.
Again, the posture doesn't matter. So,
and Sierra's going to put the processor up.
Picture of the processor. So in your mind's eye, we say, and to eliminate. And usually it's veils and illusions, barriers, or specific emotions.
Correct.
So when we name those specific emotions, barriers, or veils and illusions, in your mind's eye, in your imagination, gather them up and then blow them into the processor. And that's, if you're listening and not viewing this on video, it's a trash can on wheels. And that processor, what it does, it takes negative energy, processes it, and it comes out
neutral.
Yes. So the energy doesn't get destroyed. It just gets, it's no longer negative.
Well, and there's one major great thing about this. And I say great, because not only are you removing negative energy that you have, but you're also by putting the negative energy in the processor / garbage can, you're also not throwing this negative energy back into the environment. And when we do that, or just throwing it down on the ground, that kind of thing, what happens is that we get up and walk into it, and so do other people. that's not in the best
It
interest
needs to
of
be
all of us.
neutralized. Yes.
It needs to be neutralized. That's exactly right. Because it's time that we start taking care of not only ourselves, but our planet in all of this.
So here we go.
All right.
I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the barriers so I can remember to activate my planetary energies for my best interest in specific situations.
Correct.
Take a breath. Take those barriers,
And
blow them into the
exactly.
processor.
And by the way, I'm throwing it behind me. I'm sitting next to Jason. I'm not going to throw it on him. That's just not the right thing to do.
Well, and our processor, the processor that we use, is in our imagination already.
Absolutely.
So that's where it goes.
Yes, absolutely.
So
all right, and I'm gonna bring it in and to eliminate all of the old processes, rules, and programmings about how to take care of ourselves in a way that doesn't serve us anymore. When the truth is, the ecosystem approach does. Nice and easy. Pick up all of those barriers, negative energies, and throw them into the processor/garbage can. Jason?
So, and then why don't we talk about activating planetary energies in this case?
Oh, excuse me.
I
was just being automatic. I certainly was. So let me, if that's
it.
So, and to activate the planetary energies that I was born into and under that are in my highest and best interest, I release and let go everything that's keeping me from finding out what my planetary energies are and all the forces that they have for me and my power. Nice and easy. Pull that in. Now blow out any negative energy left over. Jason?
So, and to activate, I'm going to activate it for myself because,
okay.
And we're going to keep looking at this. I guarantee you that it's not just the energies that are specific to you in your natal chart.
Well, that's true because life happens around us everywhere.
Well, Jupiter, for example, has a certain power and
and
optimism.
Yes.
So since I am a Sagittarius, so I gravitate toward Jupiter, but you might just use it just because it just feels right.
Exactly.
So and to activate Jupiter energy for all of us right now. So we have some optimism, some hope about the future, having the big ideas and ways of thinking that are expansive for us right now. Take a breath and feel that Jupiter energy coming in and filling you up.
Right. And throwing out any negative energies that are left over or hanging around just to, as we said earlier, fuss with you. It doesn't work anymore. So, and to activate the energies I need right now, even if I don't know what they are specifically, so that I can begin to understand that there's more to the world that I live in than I've known before today. Nice and easy. Pull in those energies. And I'll blow out any negative energies that are blocking you.
And to activate, I'm going to call Mercury energy.
Okay.
For all of us, because it helps us with our intellect. It helps us have more intellectual precision. It rules Gemini and Virgo.
Okay.
And if you have either one of those signs in your heart, in your chart, it'll help. But even if you don't know what those are, it's okay. Just take in that Mercury energy.
Nice and easy.
Feel yourself getting smarter.
And
think about it as like Popeye for your brain.
Oh yeah. Wait, here we go. There
Popeye, the sailor. Yes, anyway,
exactly.
sailor. Anyway, so
that's spinach there.
Yeah, spinach. So, well, and so
well, and I want to do one last thing, and then we're going to talk about next week. We've always talked about activating life force. Activating life force is fantastic, because life force is unbelievably the most powerful energy that we have access to. But now we can start using the balance to balance all of those energies that we need, each one of us individually and collectively, starting right now. Nice and easy. Pull in that life force energy and the balance of the planets for me right now, today, and then blow out any negative energies left over. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week?
The truth is, I haven't decided. So,
Okay.
I just told Patricia in the break that we need to talk about that. But
Okay.
I think we're gonna do the same thing
Okay.
because we had this whole list of things we could talk about, and we didn't even come to the surface.
No, we didn't at all.
So,
Yeah.
and if you like this, send us an email at hello@theecosystemapproach.org, and please go sign up for our free section, theecosystemapproach.org,
Okay.
and our Facebook page is also the same
Okay.
title, theecosystemapproach.org.
Okay. And so everyone, we'll connect next week. We'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.